Today we are making Moules Marinieres, which is mussels in a wine and shallot sauce. I think it's the most classic way to prepare mussels and my favorite. So in a deep pot you want to melt 6 tablespoons of unsalted butter. And to that you want to add, I have about 1.5 cups of finely chopped shallots and 3 garlic cloves. You can go heavier or lighter on the shallots, it's up to you. And now you want to saute this until the shallots are translucent. I'm also going to add some salt and freshly crushed, coarsely ground black pepper to taste. And I'm also going to add a couple of sprigs, or more than a couple, a few sprigs of thyme, also to taste, as much or as little as you want. If you don't like thyme, you can skip it. Some people add a bay leaf. I think it's a little bit too strong of a flavor for this dish, but if you like, you can add a bay leaf. So I'm going to cook this until it's translucent, and then I'll show you the next step. So once your shallots have softened, you want to add some white wine. I'm going to use some Pinot Grigio. You can use some Sauvignon Blanc, any white dry wine, not a sweet one. And I'm going to probably add about 2 cups. You could add less. I like to have a lot of broth, so I'm going to add about 2 cups, maybe 1.5 cups. And I'm going to let this cook for about 5-10 minutes. I want the alcohol to evaporate, and I want it to reduce, and I want the flavors to marry. I'm also going to add some parsley. I think I have about 1/4 cup there, but you could add more or less. Just make sure you save a little bit of the parsley for garnish for later when the dish is finished. And then I'll show you the next step. So basically, once your broth starts boiling, you can add your mussels at any point. You don't have to reduce it for the 5 or 10 minutes, but I'm ready to add my mussels now. And I have 2 pounds of mussels that I've washed and debearded, scrubbed. Once you do that, you can soak them in some cold water, either fresh or salted, for a couple of hours. Just make sure it's very cold. And with the mussels, any mussels that you have that are open, that don't close when you tap on them, when they're not cooked, you shouldn't cook, you should throw away. And any mussels with a broken shell, you shouldn't use either. Now once they're done cooking, if there are any left that didn't open, those are the ones you want to discard as well. So now I'm going to put a lid over this and let them cook until they all open up, and then I'll show you the next step. So once all the shells open, the mussels are done, and what I like to do is I like to use a slotted spoon, and I like to put them on a plate, whatever I'm serving them in, either individual or in a big bowl for everyone to share. And then to this broth I'm going to add some butter, now that I've turned it off, and I'll show you that in a minute. I'm just going to take the mussels out. And you can also fish out the sprigs of thyme here, either with your hands or with some tongs. You don't want that in your plate. So I've put my mussels in a plate, and I've sprinkled a little bit of fresh parsley on top. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2 tablespoons of butter and some more fresh parsley and mix it into the broth. Once the butter melts, what I like to do is to put the broth in a separate little bowl and serve it alongside the mussels with some fresh bread so people can dunk it into the broth. You can also pour a little more broth over the mussels in the plate. So here they are, guys, our Moules Marinieres. And there's the broth on the side with the nice hot crusty bread. Make sure you warm up your bread, and I hope you enjoy.